Hi everybody, welcome to Maths. We're continuing to look at division, and today we're just going to recap our knowledge of division that we learnt last week. I want us to be really comfortable and secure with this. If you are really comfortable with exchanging and just a simple short method, then you might want to jump straight into the questions and the challenges at the end. There's some really good challenges for those of you that are really confident. Just to kick off this, just to start, what I want us to do, just a quick warm up, how many ways can you represent this? And what else do we know from this? So pause the video, answer it. I'm going to go through some, but not all of them. So what I know is, I know that 100 and 100 and 100 equals 300. From that, I know that 100 take away 100, take away 100, take away 100 equals nothing. I know that 100 multiplied by 3 equals 300. I also know that 3 multiplied by 100 is 100. I know that 300 divided by 3 equals 100. I could represent this like this, 300. I also know that 1,000 add 1,000 add 1,000 is going to equal, well done, 3,000. So then I know 3,000 divided by 3 is going to be 1,000. I know, what else do I know? I know that 2,000 and 1,000 is 3,000. Lots and lots of things. I might represent this with 3 100 counters. I might represent this as 300, no tens, no units. So we have 100. There are lots and lots of different ways we can represent this, and I'm sure you've got lots of different ways as well. You might also have it as not going to spend too long. I'm really interested to see all the different ways that you could come up with. I'm sure you could come up with a lot more than I can. So, I'm not sure what's happening. So, what I want you to do, just a final little warm-up. Choose one of these. We've got 1, 2, or 3. How many different ways can you represent this? Can you come up with some example questions that might come up? What else do we know from this? So, off you go. I'm not going to go through any. I want to see yours. You might want to do them on a separate bit of paper because there's going to be lots of different things that you know. So, well done for having a go at that activity and showing all the different ways you can make those numbers and everything that we know. But we've got a question here now. We've got 84 sticks shared equally between 4 children. How many sticks each? So, what is that question asking? It's asking us, what is 84 divided by 4? Yeah, and it looks something similar to this. Now, how do we go about answering a question like that? Well, we can do that in steps. So, step 1, I want you to write out a divisor and a dividend, and that might look something like here. This is what we're aiming towards. This is a more formal method, but you can see here I have represented 84 as 8 bundles of 10 followed by 4 ones. That's perfectly fine as well. And I would encourage everybody to do that, and we're going to be looking to move into counters, which pretty much does the same thing in a minute. You might also want to find what sorts of things can you use around your house to help you. Could you use dried pasta? Certain colours are 10, certain colours are 1. Can you use rice? Lots of things around your house that you might be able to use. So, first step is to write them out, and we have done that. Next step is to share the tens. And those bundles are my bundles of 10. So, let's share them out. All 8 of them are being shared. We've shared 8 tens shared into between 4 people. Yeah, and I can do that down the bottom. I can take my 8 tens, you see how I've lined them up, share between 4. We're each going to have 2 tens. And that's the same as saying 80 divided by 4 is 20. Yeah? 8 tens divided by 4 is 2 tens. Hopefully we're clear with that. So our next step, what do you think our next step is going to be? Well done if you thought our next step was we're going to share the ones. So we've got those ones, let's share those. Bam, let's share between the 4 people. And what does that look like down the bottom? That's 4 ones shared between 4 is of course 1. And that's what it looks like. So we can say that 8 tens and 4 ones, 8 tens and 4 ones divided by 4 equals 2 tens and 1 1. Yeah, also known as 21. 84 divided by 4 equals 21. Now let's look at that a little bit deeper. And what does that actually mean? How did we get 21? So here we go. We've got our 21. Let's represent this and sort of zoom in a little bit. So that's what we had. We've got our 84 divided by 4 is 21. Well, what does that mean? Remember that 8 was actually 8 tens. And if we look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a group of 4. But not only have we got one group of 4, we've got 2 groups of 4 tens. Here we have our 2 groups of 4 tens. Yeah? So what does that mean for the ones? We've got 4 ones and we've got one group of 4 ones. Yeah? This is what we were learning about last week. We can use our multiplication tables. 2 times by 4 is 8. So that means 8 divided by 4 must equal 2. Or 8 tens divided by 4 equals 2 tens. I hope that's clear. So we've got another question here. We have 72 sticks shared equally between 3 children. How many sticks each? So think about our steps. We've got our calculation here. 72 divided by 3 equals. I've gone to the liberty of drawing out the grid. See if you can write that out using a short written method. We write our divisor and our dividend. Here we go. Can you spot which one's the divisor? Divisor or divisor? Divisor. And that must mean the 72 is our dividend. That means what is being divided. Okay, so we've written our question out. What's our next thing we're going to do? So our next step is going to be to take our 7 tens and divide it by 3. And that's going to equal 2 tens, remainder 1 10. But what does that mean? Because we've got this remainder here. So what does that look like? We're taking our 7 tens and we're going to split them into groups of 3. Yeah, we're seeing how many 3, 10, how many 3s, lots of 3 tens are in 7 tens. So here we go. We've got our 2 groups of 3 tens. Remember when we shared those pencils out? That would go the other way. So if we think about what our person had, let me just try and find my rubber. If I've got 3 people, 1 person, 2 person, 3 people, this person has 2, this person has 2, this person has 2, and we've got 1 left over. There's 2 tens for each person and 1 left over. So we can put that down as 2 tens. Yeah, 1 left over. But what do we do with that 1 that's been left over? Because that's not in a group. We have to have all our groups have to have the same amount. We can't just put it in. So what we need to do is we need to, is that going to let me? Exchange. So we need to take that 10 and exchange it for 10 ones. It's still the same. It's still now, but now it's, instead of it being 7 tens and 2 ones, it's now 6 tens and 12 ones. And we know that 6 tens is 60, add 12 ones is still 72. Yeah, whether we've got one counter of 10 or 10 ones, it's still equal to 10. So we're going to put that over here and have a think about what we're going to do. Remember, we're putting it into groups. We're dividing it by 3. So let's have a look. We're going to put it into 3 groups, or into groups of 3. How many groups of 3? So remember, we had our, this person gets this, this person gets this, this person gets this, so there's 2 10s in each group. So let's have a look. There's our 3 groups, but this time I've got 4 in each. Yeah? 72 divided by, or 72 divided by 3 is 24. 7 10s and 2 1s divided by 3 is 2 10s and 4 1s. Hopefully I've explained that quite well. So how does that look over here? So I'm looking at how many 7s, so how many 3s, sorry, go into 7? There are 2, and that is 6, but I've got 1 left over. And remember, that was that one we exchanged. How many 3s go into 12? 4. Yeah? Hopefully you can see that's there. So what I want you to do, I want you to have a go at this calculation. Remember our step 1. What is step 1? Actually, I'm gonna let you pause the video, have a go first. So remember, step 1, writing the divisor and the dividend. Bam, I've written it down. I've also done it in our place value counters because I think that's really useful. Now I'm into groups of 4. So, whoops, sharing the 100s, an extra step has jumped. So what am I looking for 4? Groups of 4. So a group of 4, but I've got some left over. So that is one group. How many left over? 2. These 2 here. What am I going to have to do with them? I'm going to have to exchange them for some 10s. Yeah? That's this 2 over here is the 2 that didn't fit in the group of 4. So I am going to have to exchange those for 20 10s. Yeah, because 20 10s is 200. 20 times 10 is 200. So we've got our group of 1 and we've just exchanged. So now we've got 4s in 21. So now we're looking at groups of 4. So a group of 4, 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, doesn't matter what the groups look like, 4 groups, 5 groups. Oh, I've got 1 left over. So we've got 1 group here, we've got 5 groups here, we've got our 1 left over. So 4s into 21 goes 5, but with 1 left over. What are we going to have to do? We're going to have to exchange that, aren't we? We showed the 10s, we're going to have to exchange that 10 that's been left over. So that's it. We've taken that 10. Remember, 1 group, 5 groups. Now I've exchanged that 10 over. We're going to look at groups of 4 here. 4, 4, 4. There are 1, 2, 3 groups of 4. So 612 divided by 4 equals 153. That's a 0. Let's have a look back over here. So 4's into 6, so 4. So that's one group of 4 with 2 left over. And remember, that was those 200s that we exchanged for 20 10s. So now we've got 20 10s and 1 10. So 4's into 21. Remember, that went 5 with the 1 left over. And we exchanged that 10 that was left over for 10 1s. 4's into 12, 3. 153. So what I want you to do, have a go at this question. 215 divided by 5. Remember, step 1, write the divisor. I've written it there. I'm going to put it there because it's going to be a bit funny. So what do we do next? How many groups of 5 in here? None. No groups of 5. But I can swap that for 20 tens. So, whoops, where have you gone? So that's going to be a 0. I'm going over here. And there's my 2 100s. And there's my 20 tens that I've just swapped out. I mean, I could draw them. I'm not going to draw them all out. 5s into 20, there are 4. And there are going to be 1 left over. 5, 10, 15, 20. 5s and 15 go 3. Yeah? How many 5s? None. So I'm going to swap that for 20 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Group of 5, group of 5, group of 5, group of 5. 4 groups of 5. And that 10, what are we doing with that? We'll exchange that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1 10 counter for 10 ones. Yeah? So, group of 5, group of 5, group of 5. 3 groups of 5. 43. Yeah? So, I mean, we say we're carrying the 2. It's not technically right. Remember, we're swapping those 200s that didn't fit into our group of 5 for 20 10s. What would you do? Have a go at some of these questions. Have a think. So pause the video, have a go, and I'm going to fly through some answers. I'm going 4s into 2 goes 2. 2s into 4 go 2. 2s into 6 go 3. 2s into 4 go 2. 3s into 3 go 1. 3s into 9 go 3. 3s into 6 go 2. 5s into 5 go 1. 5s into 5 go 1. 5s into nothing. There's nothing to share into 5 groups. So I'm looking at here. I don't know what goes in there. So let's go to what I do know. 4s into 8 go 2. For nothing into 4 is nothing, of course. So how many hundreds? It's going to be 4 hundreds into there is 1. Something into 6 goes 2. So it's going to be 3. Then 3s into 1 go 3. 3s into nothing goes nothing. Well done if you got those. So here's your questions for today. What I want you to do is 1 chili, I want you to work out these calculations. So that's 264 divided by 2, 555 divided by 5, 636 divided by 3, and 452 divided by 4. Give it a go and see how I do. If you're confident with this, move on to the next chilies. We have these calculations. Oh, that 2 should be there. That 1 should be there. I'll clear that out, and that 2 should be there. And that 2 should be there. I'm not sure why they've done that. So I'll sort those out for you on the PDF. I'm not sure why they've gone a bit funny, but you should be fine anyway. And free chili, I've got just 2 questions for you. So here we go. I'm thinking of a 3-digit number. When it is divided by 9, the remainder is 3. When it's divided by 2, the remainder is 1. When it's divided by 5, the remainder is 4. What is my number? There are lots and lots and lots of different numbers that it could be. How many numbers can you give me? There's lots of answers to this one. More than 5 different answers. And this one, is it sometimes, is it always, is it never? Never. A 3-digit number made of consecutive descending digits, so consecutive descending digits is 987, divided by the next descending digit, so that's 987 divided by 6, will always have a remainder of 1. Is it always, sometimes, or is it never? Can you prove it to me? And how many possible examples can you find? So give me a big list of all the different examples that you can find and tell me, is it always happens, is it sometimes happen, or does it never happen? I'm really interested. This is something for you guys to really get your teeth into, and it shouldn't, if you're finishing it in 5 minutes, I would question if you've done it correctly. So really have a think about these questions. Hope you enjoy the math.